Okay, so the verdict is it needs bigger springs, and I think everything I did, it did nothing. I love spending money. Love it. Okay, so we're back on the old Mark III drag car again. We have to, I want to make a couple changes. The next track event's coming only in a week from now. Who knows if this video will be out before then or not, but I wanted to change the wastegate to help eliminate the boost creep we were having on the dyno, and so that I can go back to the boost strategy that I had been using before, which was speed, boost per speed essentially. So I'm gonna set the time lapse up. You can see it's kind of half apart there. We set the time lapse up, taking everything apart so you can kind of see that, and we'll get to some of the changes that we're gonna be doing while we have it apart. One of the things I wanted to change was we're going to a bigger gate so that we can eliminate the creeping issue we had. And this is basically, I built this manifold kind of modular. I ended up taking it off the cylinder head because we had some leaky gaskets, so I just wanted to replace those while we had it apart. So essentially all I need to do is really take this piece off, and I'm going to put a larger port, trying to get this to stand up, larger port like so, to accommodate the bigger gate. So that's what's next. I gotta cut all this apart and start doing some fabrication to get this TIG'd all back together. I built this manifold, man, a good handful of years ago now, and it just keeps evolving. There's been multiple changes. The flange has been changed from a T3 to a T4. There's been bracing added, all kinds of stuff. Typical race car stuff. We got this thing back together. We went with a copper gasket this time. We finally stepped away from the MLS gaskets. We were using copper O-rings with a OEM MLS gasket. But now, as you would have seen in the video, I didn't kind of talk about it, but you would have seen it in the time lapse that we switched to a MLS gasket, or sorry, we switched to a copper gasket from the MLS gasket with stainless O-rings. So this should really help keep the thing together. On the new setup, we were planning on using those gaskets and stuff on the new engine that we're building with a new cylinder head and stuff, but this head is very, very tired. It's had multiple pistons fail underneath it and gone through a lot of head lifting over the years, and it's been planed and decked many times, but we're to the point where we're just trying to make do with this one until we get a new cylinder head on there. So we decided to switch to the copper gasket now in hopes of keeping it together for a little bit more boost. And we got it all done, back together. So I'm just gonna do the modifications to the manifold and stuff like that and get it buttoned back up. It's basically a week before the event, so we still gotta get back together. I'll probably chuck it on the dyno for like 1 or 2 pulls just to make sure everything's good, and then we'll get it ready for the track. After many hours, we have now gotten rid of the smaller gate, and you can see that the new one is much, much larger. I mean, it pretty much just fits inside that hole. We got a little bit more cleanup to do on the inside, but if you can see that, it's pretty near divided right down the center to between the turbo and the wastegate, which is exactly the way it should be. Essentially, the wastegate should be the primary source of flow. Anyways, we're ready to put this back on the car, and I've had this on and off I don't know how many times. When I say it's been hours, it's been hours. So we're going to put it back on the car, get the wastegate on it, the turbo mounted, get the up pipe, and start building the dump tube essentially for the wastegate. Okay, here we are again. The car's on the dyno. We should be able to get to where we want at the track with kind of the power level that it had, but we always like to have a little bit more headroom. Also, with the changes to the gate, as long as the boost doesn't creep at higher RPM, we should be able to go back to our older boost strategy, which was boost per speed. So that's the reason it's back on the dyno. We're basically just going to check gate pressure, which the gate, it's like 21 or 20 pounds of boost, so we just want to make sure that's where it should be, and then we'll do 1 or 2 runs just to make sure the boost doesn't get away. So that's kind of on deck for this afternoon. We'll get the car, we've already had it up to temperature and all that, fluids in, and make sure there's no leaks, because again, it's been all apart since just a week or 2 ago that we were at the track. But we got it back on here, just a little bit of testing, and then we'll save the boost for the weekend. So you'll probably see some runs on the dyno again. I know you're probably bored of that, but it is what it is. Clearly he doesn't know how to hook it up.
What, the air? It's Gilbert, come on.
Yeah, I know.
Probably get distracted by a beer in the middle of it.
Yeah, well, it's only Wednesday. I don't think he's allowed to drink beer on Wednesdays.
It's after hours.
Doesn't matter.
What's the deal?
Let's see how this works. Gonna run it on gate. Should make, I don't know, depends on how much boost it makes, between 500 and 600. Might be low 500s. Can't remember. Well, if that goes smoothly, then I'll just add a bit of duty cycle to it to see if we can keep boost steady, and maybe do 1 more after that, as long as things are looking good. I richened it up a bit from before, so hopefully I didn't go too far. And I left this on, so it might be a little rackety when I shift. To log it.
Nice. Awesome.
It's gonna need more spring, I think. Doesn't even sound like it made any boost. Hot. It's the face of disgust at this point. So move along. Okay, so the verdict is it needs bigger springs, and I think everything I did, it did nothing. I love spending money. Love it. I didn't get what I wanted out of it, and it's just leggy. The engine doesn't have enough flow to move the air in this, to move that turbine on the dyno anyways. At the track hopefully we'll be okay, but the problem right now is the too small wastegate springs.
Very well.
We need bigger springs, because that run right there was like 90% duty cycle.
That's not going to cut it.
No, there's no more room.
Can you go like 120%?
No, you cannot. Cannot.
All right. Well.
We need to jack the springs in this thing.
Yeah. Let's get to it.
All right.
All right. 3 runs.
What do we do? 5? And we're starting over. So one more spring, Clayton. Every spring that we can put in there. So we tell you to take this off while you do it, but I think we'll be all right. Meaning tell you to take this fittings and shit out because of what
That's
I'm
how to
running.
make things easier.
That's to prevent what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna sit here. Cardboard. This. Try not to take it in the face, like Robbie likes.
It's the top.
Give it a little snug. Yeah, okay.
Is the top where you need it to be? Like.
Oh, this was?
Yeah.
I forget now.
Yes, we're gonna find out.
We'll find out. We're gonna find out how much boost it makes too. On the gate. Here's the gate. Like 20 pounds on the gate, which is what we want.
When the car's running, I can't hear anything on the mic. When you're talking in the car.
What were we saying?
When the car's running and you're talking in the mic, can't hear anything.
Oh, okay.
So you're just talking to yourself.
Fine then. Fine, Clayton, fine.
Maybe with your helmet on, but
Fine. So I'm going to...
like the snot under your nose.
Nope, no snot. Felt like dirt. Felt like dirt.
Dirt.
We're gonna do like... I don't know.
Well, we got
Six-
like half hour. Or something.
60% duty cycle maybe.
20.
See what it does. And that might be it. I'm gonna look at my cellular device
What are you digging at there? Kid show. Come on.
to see, just to get an idea of what did what in the past. Now that we're back to a 20% on or 20 psi in the spring, so I'll get an idea what I can chuck at it here. Clearly, different wastegate, different spring pressure, different problems, but we're gonna go with something like this. That was my fault.
What'd you do?
Well, I didn't want to get too greedy,
Yeah.
so I took boost up. I took boost out up top, and as you can tell, it's plain flat. The power went up and then just went straight.
Alright, well.
I'm gonna fix that problem. Clayton.
Dave.
7:33 is where we're stopping. It's 20 to 9. And that was pretty much a steady boost table, reference table. So we're kind of on where we need to be able to go back to the track and try to go faster. The car, we're finished with it on the dyno. As you would have seen, we stopped at around 730, something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was last night. But we just needed to get it on here to prove the theory, make sure we weren't having boost creep issues, and just dial in what boost kind of gave us what power. So when we get to the track, we're gonna have a better idea of what we're chucking at it. Now we just gotta finalize some things. We gotta put the belly pan or catch pan back on. We're gonna nut and bolt the car. Also, we have to recut the hood because the new up pipe or dump tube doesn't quite match the way it used to. Obviously, it's been all changed, although it looks very similar, it has been changed. So there are some modifications that need to happen there. So that's pretty much it for right now. We still have a few more things to do, and we're going to be running Friday night. It's Thursday now, or no, sorry, it's Wednesday now. We're going to be running, it's Thursday now. I don't know what day it is. They're all just one day to me. Thursday now, we're going to be running tomorrow night and Saturday and Sunday. This is actually our first real event since 2019. I know the last video where we got to the track, that was a rental, but this is actually a sport compact weekend, like a race. So there's a turbo heads up class that we'll be in. So we're going to obviously try to push it a little bit further, go a little bit quicker. How we make out is yet to be determined, but we're going to aim high, and we'll see where we end up. So that's it for this part of the video. We'll see what we got coming up next over the next day as we get ready. What did we say about YouTube and it taking way long to do everything?
Yeah.
We filmed all this, and I had the mic on mute by accident, and the footage was all garbage.
All right,
so here we are.
before it gets too rocky.
Come on, we're at the track. We spent the last week basically trying to get the car ready. As you would have seen the video, swapping out the wastegate, put a different head gasket in it. So we're here to try to run faster. We got the car unloaded. We got a whole bunch more stuff to do yet, set up our tent and all that jazz. But we are hopefully going to go a little bit quicker. So if you have any questions or comments, thanks for joining along and coming along for the ride as we try to make a Mark III be semi-fast. Clayton, give me the forward motion.
Speed it up, come on.
You have anything to add, Clayton?
No, we got a race, let's go.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Be sure to ask them below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Okay, I'm getting, I think, worse at doing this YouTube thing because I just had to do like 2 or 3 takes to try to say the same thing over and over again.
Huh?
I said, let's try to make 700 to 800. And then be done.
Alright.
Okay?
Yep, looking shiny.
I'm hot.
Did you lay off the makeup artist or what?
The what?
The makeup artist.
Yeah,
Production.
they're on vacation.
Oh, it's nice to see you.